Organ and tissue donation is a difficult conversation, but we learn why it's a life-saving conversation you should have. Plus, we learn about resources for women entrepreneurs. It's all here on the next Latino Motion. Join us.
Choose to get lost in the woods to gain experience in forest management.
Choose to travel through time to understand the past.
Choose to soar to pursue a career in dance.
Stockton University offers 50 high-quality academic programs, small class sizes, and affordable tuition. Choose to match your interests and talents at one of New Jersey's nationally ranked universities.
Latino Motion with Bert Lopez is presented by Latino Motion Public Affairs Media, a New Jersey nonprofit corporation, and Stockton University. This edition of Latino Motion with Bert Lopez is brought to you by the HD Studios at the campus of Stockton University. Funding for Latino Motion is provided by AtlantiCare, a member of Geisinger, Atlantic City Electric, energy for a changing world, and South Jersey Gas.
Health disparities in the Hispanic community is a major concern for us here at Latino Motion and ALMA, an AtlantiCare Employee Resource Group. That is why we are partnering to present this health segment. Tu salud es importante para nosotros.
Welcome to Latino Motion, a weekly interview show highlighting issues impacting New Jersey's Latino community while advancing understanding of Latino cultural heritage and contributions to our society. And here is your host, Bert Lopez.
Buenos dias and welcome to Latino Motion. Organ and tissue donation is not a popular topic for discussion, but we learn why it's an important topic for you and your family to discuss. We learn more about this important issue with Dr. Edward Hamity with AtlantiCare to tell us more. Welcome to Latino Motion.
Well, thank you very much for having me on the show. It's an honor.
So, organ and tissue donation seems to be a critical health issue. Why so?
Because of the number of patients that could benefit from organ and tissue donation. In our area alone, there are about 5,000 patients that are in need of organ or tissue donation. And by our area, I mean Southern Jersey, Delaware, and the eastern part of Pennsylvania. It's a lot of patients that could benefit from this gift of life, as we say.
And obviously this affects everyone. In fact, you have 410 Hispanics in that waiting list as well in the South Jersey region. Yes. Tell me about what happens to those patients that are not getting the organ donations, and I know you have some statistics on the impact.
Well, unfortunately, nationally, 20 people die every day for a lack of an organ donation. And unfortunately, about every 10 minutes, another person gets added to the organ donation list. So the impact on healthcare is huge. And I always give the example, if you're a dialysis patient, you have to come to dialysis center 3 times a week, sit for 3 to 4 hours a day, and have your life pretty much controlled by your dialysis schedule. Whereas if you get a kidney, you basically get your life back, and the cost of healthcare is decreased because you no longer need the dialysis and a lot of the medications that go with it. So that's a great example of how it can really change someone's life.
Now, there are a lot of stigmas or myths around the subject, and like we mentioned, it's not a popular topic, it's not something you talk about in the dinner table, but it's very critical. Tell me about some of those myths.
Well, some of the myths are, and probably the biggest one that I get as a physician, I'm a critical care physician, is if I'm on that organ donation list, the team is not going to take good care of me. They're going to allow me to die so that I can donate an organ, and I can assure you, nothing is further from the truth. Our greatest triumph is not having you die and not having you donate an organ. Sometimes medicine fails, and that is an option, and that's really what we're talking about. But I can honestly tell you that no one is ever going to let someone die for that reason. You know, we're in the business of saving lives.
Some people feel that their funeral, burial might be impacted if they're an organ donor.
Absolutely. We get that question a lot. Can I have an open casket if I'm an organ donor? And the answer is absolutely yes. The surgeons are very skilled. They do a great job, and you cannot tell from the outside that organs have been donated.
And obviously, some people think that organ donations only for the rich, and you have to have the money to be able to do that. Is that true?
That's absolutely not true. As a matter of fact, one of the practicalities of organ donation is you, the donor, set the tone for who the recipient's going to be. I'll give you a good example. I'm kind of a stocky guy. My lungs are fairly big, so if I'm an organ donor and I'm going to give you my lungs, they have to fit in your body. And so the list is based on physical characteristics. It's not identified by name, not identified by your tax return or your money. It's does the organ match the donor's need? And only at that point, after it's gone through some rigorous screening, do we actually know who the donor is going to be. The donors don't know. No one knows until the very end.
And here in 2020, obviously the advances in science have tremendously been improved over the years, and how successful are typically organ donations?
I think you hit the nail on the head. In the beginning, organ donations were a little bit more hit or miss, but in today's world, they are almost uniformly successful. There's the occasional person who rejects the organ despite the medications, but the vast majority of people get their lives back, and they do very well with it.
What's your role as a physician in the whole organ donation and tissue donation process?
Well, we sort of alluded to it. My role is to prevent you from being an organ donor. But as I said, sometimes circumstances don't work out that way. So if you are a registered organ donor, my job is, when the science and the medicine has failed, to preserve your organs in such a way that they can be donated. That's the last part of my job, serving you as a patient.
And it's your call to refer those organs to a patient, or is there a whole process?
There's a whole process. Every hospital that does organ donation is affiliated with an organ procurement organization. Ours is the Gift of Life. It's the largest in the nation. It serves our region. And what we do is if someone is a designated donor or they meet the criteria, we call their number, they send out a representative, and they go through the process of determining whether or not the person can be an organ donor.
Can everyone be an organ donor?
Pretty much. There are some restrictions, but they are few and far in between, and every case is different. I have learned to not say yay or nay. We refer to the Gift of Life people. They run their database, and if there is someone who can benefit, then you most certainly can be an organ donor.
That's great information. We want to continue to discuss more about this very important topic. We'll be right back with more Latino Motion.
Latino Motion with Bert Lopez is presented by Latino Motion Public Affairs Media, a New Jersey nonprofit corporation. Join us online at www.latinomotion.tv. Find us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. We encourage your comments and contributions for show topics.
Welcome back to Latino Motion. We continue our discussion on organ and tissue donation with Dr. Hamady with AtlantiCare, and this is such an important topic. And one thing I know about this is that you have a lot of passion around this.
I do. I believe in the program very deeply. I myself am an organ donor. That's how committed I am to the program.
And how can a person become a donor?
You can become a donor. The easiest way is when you renew your driver's license. That's actually one of the questions that they ask. You check off the box, and then there's a little section on your driver's license that says you're an organ donor. And if you're in a hospital, one of the first things that the organization will do is run your license to see if you've designated yourself as an organ donor. That way there's no confusion about it. You don't have to find any papers. It's right there.
Let's talk about what you could donate as an organ donor. And in addition to organs, there's also tissues. Tell me about that.
One person can actually donate up to 8 organs and help 8 people. You can donate...
So essentially save 8 lives.
Save 8 lives, for sure. With your organs, you can donate your heart, which I think people are not maybe so familiar with. your lungs, your kidneys, and you have one of each of those, so one can go to one person, one can go to the other. Same with the lungs, actually. You can donate your pancreas, you can donate your intestines. There are a lot of organs that I think people don't think about that can be donated.
And the science is so advanced now that really could make a difference in someone's life.
Hugely, absolutely. In addition to organ donation, though, you can donate tissue, and that tissue donation can improve the lives of up to 75 people. One great example is we can donate bone, and bone can be grafted into someone who has a fracture that's not healing, and instead of amputating their foot, for example, that fracture can heal and they can regain mobility. People can donate skin that would help a burn victim recover from an awful burn. People can donate their corneas and restore the gift of vision to someone, actually two people, if we give one cornea to one and one cornea to the other, which we do. And that can just change someone's life dramatically. And that's why I became an organ donor. I've seen the dramatic impact that it's had on people's lives, and I think it's just a marvelous and wonderful thing.
Let's talk a little bit about that impact, because I know that AtlantiCare also celebrates the success on an annual event that's very emotional. Tell me about that.
We do an annual luncheon in coordination with our Gift of Life partners, and many times, if we're very lucky, we will have a donor family attend, and they will speak about what it was like to go through the process. And then, again, if we're very lucky, we will have the recipient of that organ donation also attend the event, and it's just a very powerful, emotional, uplifting experience, because that gift, to see that gift of life, hence the name, in person, and the effect that it's had on a family is just dramatic and wonderful.
And not to backtrack, but one important question I forgot to ask you is there an age limit as far as becoming a donor?
There's actually no age limit at all. What's really important is how healthy you are and how your general health and how healthy your organs are. I think the oldest living donor that I'm aware of was 93.
Wow.
So it's no age limit.
Now, this is a traumatic situation for many folks, the donor's family, obviously, and also for the receiver of the donation. Does AtlantiCare also provide some support groups?
We do. We have a well-developed support group, again, in conjunction with Gift of Life, and because it is so dramatic, there are lots of emotions, and that support group is available to help people deal with all sorts of emotions that come.
Let's talk about, we mentioned that you could become a donor through your driver's license, but if you want to get more information, how can you get additional information?
My recommendation would be to call our Gift of Life organization, and that number is 1-800-KIDNEY-1, because it started out as kidney donation. It's now obviously expanded into a much larger area, but I think that number is just easy to remember. It's 1-800-KIDNEY-1.
Obviously, this is not the only work you do at AtlantiCare. Tell me a little bit about your role at AtlantiCare.
I'm currently the chairman of the Department of Critical Care Medicine, so it's my responsibility to make sure that all 52 of AtlantiCare's critical care beds are being utilized to serve our community, and in a healthy, safe, and effective way.
Important work, obviously, in addition to your passion for tissue and organ donation. So anyone could be involved in this process. Is in addition to be a donor, what else can you do?
Actually, for example, if someone is traveling from a distance and they need to have lodging, Gift of Life has a house available where people can have a reduced cost lodging. Meals are provided, support is provided. People can volunteer to serve at the house. We have teams from AtlantiCare that go and periodically cook meals and serve them to the families who are waiting for a donation. So there are many, many ways you can become involved.
Thank you so much, Doctor. Very vital information for our audience. And just want to end with just some quick information. The Gift of Life donation program leads the nation in terms of the number of donors and transplants: 664 donors, 1,865 transplants. That's a significant success.
Oh, it's amazing, yes.
And April happens to be Donate Life Month, and I know we'll put that on the screen. There's an activity taking place, the Dash, and that's taking place over in Philadelphia at the Museum of Art on April the 19th. So hopefully folks will come out and celebrate and enjoy that event. Thank you so much. We'll be right back with more Latino Motion. Welcome back to Latino Motion. 40% of U.S. businesses are women-owned, but women are less likely to get financial support and other assistance. Joining me is Sophie Warner. She is with the LAEDA's Women's Business Center to tell us more about resources available that could help. Sophie, welcome to Latino Motion.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
So you're part of the LAEDA's Women's Center. Tell me a little bit about that organization.
Sure. So LAEDA, or the Latin American Economic Development Association, started back in 1987 in response to a lack of resources specifically for Puerto Rican business owners. And then in 2016, LAEDA became the home to the Women's Business Center. We're actually the only women's business center in South Jersey. And we are funded in cooperation through a grant through the SBA, or the Small Business Administration.
And obviously there seems to be a gap there in terms of being able to help women. Just have some statistics that said that 64% of new businesses are started by women of color. And last year, Latina-owned businesses grew by 87%. So we see Latinos and women of color being a big part of their startup and starting businesses.
So the majority of the women that we work with through the Women's Business Center and through LAEDA, so we offer business training and also business counseling services. All of our services are provided at no cost, but the majority of our clients are African American women.
Let's talk a little bit about the location of the center and where you actually offer the services, because I know your offices are in Camden, but you do cover South Jersey.
Yes, so we're located on Market Street in Camden, New Jersey, but we service all of South Jersey. So we regularly go to the different counties in South Jersey, Atlantic, Salem, Gloucester, even Cape May, and Cumberland, and make sure that we have a presence there. We do seminars as well as some workshops.
So I know you have a few events coming to Atlantic County, over in Atlantic City. I know you've had events over in Cumberland County as well. Tell me about the ones that are taking place in Atlantic City.
Sure. So our next one that's coming up is in April. So this event will be From the Kitchen to the Boardroom: How to Turn Your Small Business or Hobby into an Empire. So this is put on in collaboration with the National Coalition of 100 Black Women. That event will be on Tuesday, April 7th.
So who should participate in these events, and particularly this workshop?
So this workshop is open to the public. So our program manager for the Women's Business Center, Jamelia Powell, will be attending and assisting in the workshop. So it's really open to any women that are interested in networking and attending this workshop to get some tools to expand their small business.
In the beginning, I mentioned about the fact that women have more problem securing financing. That's a big issue. How do you help?
So the SBA, or the Small Business Administration, has recognized that women are less likely to either get approved for loans or are less likely to receive favorable terms in financing. So one of the things that the LAEDA Women's Business Center offers is a micro-lending program. This micro-lending program helps our clients build their borrower's profile and then access the traditional loan, so whether that's through a bank or a CDFI, which they might not have been able to access without a certain credit score. But through our micro-lending groups, we help them build their borrower's profile while also accessing microloans to help them move along their way.
You basically set up steps so that they could achieve their vision.
In our office, we also provide financial and credit counseling services along with this program to make sure that our clients are set up for success and understand the whole process and the term sheet, and that any questions they have are answered.
I know you help out with marketing and the credit management itself. Are those also workshops that you're offering?
Yes, so we are also offering some workshops coming up in September and November. We will have a marketing seminar and a credit management seminar. Those will also both be in Atlantic City. If you sign up on our website, if you go to laeda.com or laedawbc.com and sign up for our newsletter, you'll receive all the updates, so the locations, the times, and registration is open to the public. We just like to know head count so that we can prepare all the materials in advance.
All these workshops, they're all being offered in English, or is there an opportunity to also offer them in Spanish?
So we, at the LAEDA Women's Business Center, we've recognized that many of our clients prefer to either learn the workshop in Spanish or are looking for specific information in the Spanish language. So we do offer our workshops in English and Spanish. So in order to meet that need, we just want to know, if someone is registering for the event, if they just want to specify which language they would prefer to learn in. Sometimes someone might want to attend a workshop in English but receive the information in Spanish. We can do that. We're just here to make sure that you receive the information in the way that is best suited for you.
So you're not only helping the women who are already in business, but you are also helping those who are thinking about starting a business to
Exactly.
give them help them with a business plan and the steps that they need to take.
Yes. So anyone that's looking to start a business, there's a lot of things that go into starting a business. And before you register your LLC in the state of New Jersey and then on the hook for your annual fees, we want to make sure that you have, all your I's dotted and T's
It's
crossed.
important you know the process.
Yes, exactly.
Thank you so much for sharing this information.
Thanks for having me.
And thank you for once again joining us here on Latino Motion.
Choose to get your feet wet, to learn more about protecting our environment. Choose to read minds, to understand the human brain.
Choose to get your hands dirty, to create a masterpiece.
Stockton University offers 50 high-quality academic programs, small class sizes, and affordable tuition. Choose to match your interests and talents at one of New Jersey's nationally ranked universities.
Funding for Latino Motion is provided by AtlantiCare, a member of Geisinger; Atlantic City Electric, energy for a changing world; and South Jersey Gas.